Hello, happy November. Sometimes I'm thinking it's December, but it's not. All this week is clothing swap, so you bring in any gently used clothes. And Friday at lunch, there will be the clothing swap happening. And then next week, it's 1 p.m. dismissal the entire week. It's for our sixth grade conferences, and I think there are about 10 sixth graders whose families still need to sign up, but everyone is doing this, and everyone gets out at 1 p.m. all next week. This happens 3 times a year, thanks to 3 different grades having conferences. So Thanksgiving holiday is very, very soon, and your Thanksgiving holiday goes all the way into December, the 1st of December, that Monday. Everyone else is returning to school, but you won't because our teachers are having a faculty academy. And then a couple other things to look at. We have a parent academy in December. Applications for next year's students are released in December, and then we start having family choice info nights, which is where we get families to learn about IVA. Okay, so I'm looking at December, I'm looking at January. A couple things I want to point out. On January 9th, it is the final day for late or missing assignments. It's really not that far away. Your grade is becoming more and more solidified with the amount of assignments you've turned in and your grade on the assignment. So please don't wait until you return from winter break or from Thanksgiving break to really double down on making sure you don't have any missed assignments or you've done all your assignments really well. Work on that now so you don't feel overwhelmed. We are protecting our whole community against procrastination, and that's why we have that deadline for late or missing assignments. And then I also want to point out that Friday, the 16th of January, I know it's far away. Well, the 15th, we're having an art and community night, which is really cool. And then the 16th is a winter dance. We get to celebrate having a winter dance with a Martin Luther King Day holiday the following Monday. So lots of things to look forward to. It's blocks 4, 5, and 6 today. I just want to point out the weather. We've got rain on the forecast. There's a storm, an atmospheric river that is coming towards us. And so anytime there's rain, that means that clubs won't happen at lunch and that we'll open up the rec center and the space in the downstairs hallways for you to eat, since you can't eat in the rec center. But we'll try to make it really wonderful and cozy for everyone, and I love getting to be together when it's raining. So thank you to Ruthie, Yuki, and Isaiah for bringing us this clothing swap. I haven't seen any clothes donated yet, but you can drop them off in the office. And next week, we have Estella, Lily, Bree, Valerie, and Eva who have created a holiday food donation drive. So we're accepting anything that is canned or non-perishable for a food drive to support the community. So we're going to accept donations. I mean, if you remember it this week, bring in your donations this week, but we'll accept all next week so that they can give food to families during the holidays. So we have lots of clubs, and oops, this is kind of out of order. I'll go back to that. But the clubs I want you to pay attention to, first of all, don't miss out on the Gay Straight Alliance Club. Talk to Miss Reinstein if you're interested. Latinx Club moved to Tuesdays, so lots of things happening on Tuesdays at lunch. Wednesdays, Atlas just started a new club thanks to Coach Gallimore being available. So Wednesdays at lunch in the rec center, we are going to have a volleyball club. Sometimes that club gets shifted if other events are happening because we can't always use the rec center, but anytime we can, it is for that club. And then chess club is so great, and it's just after school on Friday. They started this last week and they will continue this week. Boys basketball, very first game is on Wednesday at Hughes. So this is really fun. If you can get out to any of these games, make sure that you don't miss them. They're on the family Google Calendar. And then girls track, the practice meet is this Saturday the 15th at Wilson. And if it is really, really raining, they might postpone it. They don't want to do this because it's hard to get everything together. So even if it's slight drizzle of rain, you can expect that the girls' track will keep going. Character conferences next week. We only need a few people to apply. In advisory in 6th and 7th grade, you're going to get a chance to think about the virtues that you practice and those that you want to practice. And we know, especially as you have moved into young adulthood, that you don't need to be told anymore. Like, you are aware of this in yourself. So it'll be really, really good to practice thinking about that so that you're ready for your conference, which is it's a fun time. And then I do want to point out that in future weeks, this is especially for our 8th grade students, The high school choice visits are happening. So Renaissance is on Thursday, November 13th. If you, and 6th and 7th graders, if you want to visit schools right now and you just have free evenings and you're not asleep already by 5 o'clock when it's dark, then head to these different schools. There's an interesting timeline going on though. For IVA students, you have to do this additional step of re-registering back into Parent View, and you have to do that by December 10th. Okay, it seems like we have a lot of time, but listen to this. The selection of high schools, you get to choose a high school in between November 10th and December 12th. So if you have a tendency to procrastinate like I do, and you wait till the very end, you are only going to have 2 days. But if there's any issues that happen, you won't even have those full 2 days. It's a 4 p.m. you have to put your choices in. You don't want to not have a choice for what high school you're going to. And then 2 little pieces of advice that came from an alumni night. One is a lot of people think about what school they want to go to based on where other ones of their friends are going, because it feels so safe and comfortable knowing that people that know you are going to be at your school. But a couple students pointed out that at the very large high schools, they don't even have classes with their friends. And sometimes you don't have time to see your friends except for a couple times a week. That still might be very comforting, and so it's nice to go to the schools where your friends are going, but you cannot, when you're going to a large school, count on that being what makes a good choice. You have to expand what you're looking at in the school so you know for yourself that it's a good choice. And then one last thing, Miss Noble was there at the night, and there were a lot of students that said what they missed the most about IVA is Miss Noble and math, and the way that she teaches math, but also the way that she has students take notes to make sense of their own thinking. There was a student that said, at the school they were just given notes and then they have to study. It's kind of like lecture and you pull from. This isn't everyone's experience, but the students were just celebrating that what they experienced here is that assignments in class, I saw this in Miss Rosas's class today, assignments in class aren't about memorizing everything. It's about making sense of the information in front of you. So I just want to give a shout out to Miss Noble, Miss Rosas, other teachers who are having you think with the content, because that is something that students said they did miss at other high schools, is that they didn't get as many opportunities to think. It was more about absorbing content, and we just love those opportunities to think. So I hope you have a wonderful day. It is blocks 4, 5, and 6 today, or on Thursday. Bye.